We are rocking, we're off and running, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Dunzy's Guitar World. What's on your mind today, Dunzy? Well, funny you should ask. All that glitters is gold. Hairway to Stephen, what a song. So my new guitar, one of my 3 new guitars, first one I'm going to look at is a gold guitar. This gold guitar here. Nice sticker, eh? Beautiful. So what guitar is this, Dunzy? Well, it is a 1980, you can tell by the serial number, 1980 Greco, you can tell by the logo, Greco EG 500 GS. G for gold, S I think for standard, I guess, because it's not custom. It's only got binding on the one side. Nice. So a brief history of Greco guitars, made in Japan of course. Greco guitars made from the late 70s into the early 80s. Now I would say, this is simply my opinion, you can't always go by what you hear on the internet. So late 1979, Greco started making the super real guitars. Now these are very nice guitars, in my humble opinion, the finest of the Greco guitars. And this came out around the same time, I think it was late 79 into 1980, then 81, maybe early 82 they made the super real guitars. And this is one of these, although it's not technically not a super real, this would have been a super power, which was slightly lower in the range. Now Greco, like a lot of Japanese manufacturers, the clue is in the model name, a 500. Like this is an EG 500 GS. 500 would have been 50,000 yen in 1980. Now 50,000 pounds in 1980, my goodness, that'd have been a lot of money. I'm not entirely sure what 50,000 yen is in 1980 and 2022 money. I don't know, maybe 400 pounds or something like that. So this wasn't, this wasn't the top of the range guitar, but these are very, very rare guitars with the mini humbuckers, based on a Gibson Deluxe. Interestingly, it's got a Deluxe truss rod cover, but that's not original. The previous owner must have put that on it. So anyway, where were we, Dunzy? Yes, we were talking about the Super Real series, Greco Super Real series. So I say this wasn't a particularly high model, but they really didn't make a lot of these with the mini humbuckers. And I've got a EG 5660 gold top from 1982, I think it is, and it's got P90s. Again, very hard guitars to get. Not expensive at the time, but they didn't make a lot of these guitars for some reason. I guess like Gibson Deluxes, a lot of people did not like the mini humbuckers. Here's a picture of a Gold Top Deluxe, Gibson Gold Top Deluxe that I owned. I think this was a 1973, and somebody had already put a humbucker in the bridge before I got it. Kelly Johnston, the legendary Kelly Johnston from Girl School, she used a Gold Top Deluxe with a humbucker in the bridge as well. I think Fast Eddie from Motorhead did one as well. So anyway, they didn't make a lot of these guitars, and I think just because people weren't looking for the mini humbucker sound, but it is a unique sound, I have to say. So let's look at the Greco catalogue. I think this is 1980, possibly 1981. Let's look at the models and we'll see where this stacks up against the more expensive ones. Greco Super Real Series Information Catalogue Volume 12. The EG Super Real, look at that, the EGF 1800, 180,000 yen. That's a lot of money, a Super Real. Now I have to say, I have never played one of these, but my understanding is that they are incredible guitars. And they are super expensive in this day and age. I think they've got dry Z pickups. So we're still in the Super Reals, the EGF 1000. The EG 1000C custom, double binding, nice guitar. I'm not convinced with the black plastics on these guitars. I always prefer it with cherry sunburst with white plastics. EG 900, EGF 850 for flame top. I've got one of these. Very, very nice guitar. Possibly one of my best made guitars, which sounds incredible. Then the EG 800 GS with the P90s. EG 800C, another custom there. Now we're on to Super Sound. So it's slightly lower down the sort of series. EG 800 PB, designed like Peter Frampton's, I think, or maybe like Ace's. Nicer. EG 800 PR, that's very much like Ace's. EG 800. Has that got the Marzials? I'm not entirely sure. Beautiful guitars. And finally, EG 700s. I've got one of these. EG 600 PB, like Peter Frampton's. EG 600 PR. Super power. That's like Ace's. I had one of these, but it was almost £11. A very heavy guitar. Then we're on to the 500. So these are 50,000 yen. The EG 500 Super Power. EG 500C, custom Super Power. EG 500 Jai. These are nice. These are very, very rare as well. Based on Jeff Beck's. Was Beck's a 54? Gold top, not entirely sure, just with the wraparound tailpiece. And these were mine. The EG 500 GS, 50,000 yen. Super Power. Now there's two guitars lower than this, the EG 480, EG 450. So I mean, this was only, you know, three steps, if you will, 3 steps off the bottom of the pile in the 1980 Greco catalogue. There you go. There you have it, folks. So yeah, this is a really nice guitar. I have to say, I used it at band practice last night and it sounded brilliant. But a bit more on the sound in a bit. So this has fret end binding. Nice fingerboard here, nice rosewood fingerboard. It's beat up. You can say that this is a well-worn guitar, and this sticker cross into the boy, I think, is a USAF recruiting slogan from the 80s or 90s. And this looks like a World War II sort of bomber nose cone graphic, but it's this is rock and roll. Almost Mike Ness, Social Distortion, like. Nice guitar, weighs 8.8 pounds, I think I worked out at, which is 4 kilograms. Here's a scale. Not an overly big neck, but not an overly small neck, if that makes sense. Kind of medium neck. 44mm-ish at the nut. Here's some pictures of the nut width and the neck profile. So when I got this, it came with a Gibson Mini Humbucker in the bridge. This Gibson Mini Humbucker here, if you can see that, patent number, Gibson Mini Humbucker. Now it's got a grey connector wire, which I think would have been, did a few of these, I think maybe 76, 77. So I mean, this is probably worth a decent bit of money. Again, ironically, as I said earlier, probably most people ripped these out of their Deluxes in the 70s and put a full size humbucker in. My cat's just destroying the house here. So yes, I've took this out, but, and it is a big but, I did sound samples before I took out the guitar. So here is some clean, some slightly distorted, and some more sort of lead sounds. and a little bit of a tune, so you can hear all the sounds together, hear what it sounds like in a mix. Now there's people saying, but he's got that mini humbucker in his hand, and there's one in the guitar. What's happening? What's going on here? Well, the pickup sounded great. I mean, it sounds really good. It's got a really unique sound. It's only 6.01k resistance. I mean, it's not a huge output pickup, and it did sound really good. But it's not the sort of thing I would use live, and I do a lot of gigs where I just take one guitar, like even rehearsal. I went to rehearsal last night and just took one guitar, and there'll be people saying, oh, I would have kept that in there because it's got a unique sound. The problem I have is that if I'm only taking one guitar, I don't want one unique sound. I want the sound that I normally get out of my guitars. So what I did was I got Bare Knuckle to custom make me a mini humbucker based on their Holy Diver. Holy Diver by Dio. So it's based on the guitar sound from those early Dio years, and it sounds brilliant. Not a cheap thing to do to get Bare Knuckle to custom make your pickup, but did the whole thing. It did the surround for me and aged it as well, so it matches quite well the stock 1980 Greco pickup, and it looks fantastic and it sounds great. It sounds really good. I'll do another video later on where you just hear the sound from the new Bare Knuckle. The new Bare Knuckle pickup. But yeah, when you look at the two together, they just look like two old pickups. Sounds great. So a rare guitar, 1980 Greco EG500 GS. You don't see many of these about. I've seen pictures of one other one, and that's it. There's not a lot of these available. So if you see them and you're a bit of a guitar collector, would I describe myself as a guitar collector? I'm a guitar player that owns a few guitars. So yeah, as soon as I saw it, I bought it, and strangely enough, I got it on eBay. I bought it from a guy in Scotland. He lives on the other side of Scotland. It's not like America, you know. When I say like the other side of Scotland is about an hour away, you know, the other side of America, if you live in New York, the other side of America, it's significantly more than an hour away, unless you're travelling in a Concorde. Got it from Scotland. You could not make it up. So for the end of this video, what I have done is I put a longer version of the tune that I did earlier and tried to incorporate as many sounds as I can. So you can hear the Gibson mini humbucker in the bridge and the Greco mini humbucker in the neck. All the sounds was recorded through my NUX or NUX pedal, mostly set at a Marshall sound, some clean settings as well. But to sum up, the first of my 3 new Japanese guitars, I'm very happy with it. It sounds great, plays really great as well. Used the rehearsal last night, really cut through, even with the Bare Knuckle in it as well. Should I have kept the Gibson one in it? Like I say, I have plans for the Gibson one to put it in the Gibson and Pete Townshend guitar. For me, I need a guitar for live that sounds a bit more powerful than the 6K one that was in here. That said, Scott Gorham certainly makes his sound pretty powerful. So yes, a nice guitar, a rare guitar, and I do hope you enjoy the sounds of it. As ever folks, it's a privilege and a pleasure bringing you content on Dunsies Guitar World. Cheers for now.